Ijioma's body was still on the bed. But it was no longer fresh. Her skin had dried. Her eyes were sunken. Her fingers looked stiff like wood. The room smelled like death and pain. In the quiet village of Umuochi, deep in the eastern part of Nigeria, there lived a woman called Mama Ijeoma. She was known by everyone. She was peaceful, soft-spoken, and kind to both the young and the old. She sold roasted corn by the roadside, under a big mango tree. Even people from the next village came to buy from her. But what made her truly special was the way she loved her only daughter, Ijeoma. Many people didn't know the full story behind that love. Mama Ijeoma and her husband had waited for 28 years after marriage before they had a child. For nearly 3 decades, they prayed, cried, and hoped for a baby. People mocked her. Some even whispered that she was cursed or barren. But she and her husband held on to each other, refusing to give up. Every year that passed without a child felt like a knife to the heart. Mama would watch other women carry their babies, and tears would fall from her eyes in secret. Her husband would hold her hand and say, "Our child will come. Even if it takes the last breath in me." Then, finally, after 28 long years, God answered them. She became pregnant. The joy in their home was like a festival. Villagers danced. Some couldn't believe it. It was a miracle. When the baby girl was born, they named her Ijeoma, meaning safe journey, because they believed her coming marked the end of a long, painful journey. But just 8 months after Ijeoma was born, tragedy struck. Mama's husband fell ill suddenly. It started like a fever, but within days, he passed away. Mama was shattered. She looked at her baby girl and cried endlessly. She had waited almost her whole life to be a mother, and just when the joy came, it was mixed with deep sorrow. From that moment, Mama poured all her love into her daughter. She made Ijeoma her everything, her reason to wake up, her reason to work, and her reason to live. She used her small corn business to raise her. No matter how hard life became, Mama never complained. She would always say, "So far I have my daughter, I am complete." She raised Ijeoma with love, care, and discipline. She made sure her daughter went to school. She made sure her daughter had clothes to wear, even when she had only one wrapper to tie. Their bond was strong. Like mother. Like friend. Like sisters. It was something everyone in the village admired. But one day, everything changed. It was a normal Thursday afternoon. Ijeoma came back from school looking tired. "Mama, I'm not feeling well," she said softly, holding her chest. Mama thought it was just malaria. She gave her warm soup and told her to rest. But by night, Ijeoma's breathing changed. She started gasping for air. Her body began shaking. Mama panicked. She ran outside, shouting for help. Neighbors came rushing. She held her daughter in her arms and kept screaming, "Please don't take her. Please." They rushed her to the village clinic. But just before reaching the entrance, Ijeoma stopped breathing. The nurse came out, checked her, and slowly shook her head. "She's gone," the nurse said gently. At that moment, Mama fell to the ground. She screamed with all her soul. "Lie! You're lying! My daughter is not dead. She just fainted. She's sleeping." She ran to the lifeless body, hugged her tightly, and cried like a child. She refused to let go. The nurses tried to pull her away, but she fought them. She carried Ijioma's body in her arms and walked back home. When they got home, she cleaned her up. She put powder on her face, combed her hair, and wore her best dress. Then she laid her gently on the bed. That night, Mama didn't sleep. She sat beside Ijioma's body, holding her hand. "She's just tired. Tomorrow morning, she'll open her eyes," she whispered to herself. Morning came. The body was cold. Neighbors returned to check on her. But Mama locked the door. She didn't let anyone in. "My daughter is still sleeping," she said. They knocked. They begged. Her younger brother, Uncle Abuka, came from the next town. He stood at the door crying, "Please let us bury her. It's been 2 days now." But Mama refused. "She's not dead. She will wake up. My Ijeoma can't leave me like that." Days passed. The smell started. A strong, rotten smell started coming from the house. People walking by had to cover their noses. The smell became worse every day. Neighbors talked. Some became afraid. The family tried to force the door open, but Mama blocked it with furniture from inside. She sat beside the body every day, talking to it, feeding it food that was never touched. "Ijeoma, your rice is getting cold," she would say. She sang to her. She brushed her hair. She didn't see death anymore. She only saw her daughter. After 2 weeks, her elder sister, Aunt Ngozi, arrived from the city. She couldn't believe what she was told. She rushed to the house. She cried. She knocked. She begged. But Mama said the same thing. "She is not dead. I spoke to her last night. She said she is just resting." The family broke the door open. What they saw broke their hearts. Ijioma's body was still on the bed. But it was no longer fresh. Her skin had dried. Her eyes were sunken. Her fingers looked stiff like wood. The room smelled like death and pain. All around the room were bowls of water, sticks of candles, pieces of paper with scribbles of Mama's handwriting. Some were prayers, some were just her thoughts. Mama Ijeoma sat beside the body like a statue, her eyes blank, her face pale. She turned to them and said softly, "She promised to wake up today. I just need to wait a little more." A seer was called from a nearby village. He entered and stood still for a few minutes. Then he said quietly, "This is not a body anymore. This is a doorway." This woman loved her child so deeply that she refused to let go. But in that pain, she opened a spiritual door. And something dark came in. Something that now lives here. He told them to bury the body before sunset. If not, he said, this house will never know peace again. The family wrapped the body with clean white cloth. They carried it out. As they walked, the wind started blowing. The trees moved. The sky grew dark. Dogs began barking from every corner of the village. Cats ran under tables. Some villagers said they saw a tall shadow leaving the rooftop. Before sunset, they buried Ijeoma under the same mango tree where she and her mother used to sit and roast corn. The seer poured oil and sealed the grave. He looked at Mama and said, "You tried. You loved. But now, you must let her go, or you will follow her." After that day, Mama was not the same. She didn't speak much. She sat beside the mango tree every morning, staring at the grave. Sometimes she would say, "Ijeoma, are you okay down there?" She refused to eat. She stopped bathing. She stopped responding to people. Auntie Ngozi took her in, gave her food, cared for her, and even slept in the same room to keep her company. But Mama never came back to life again. Not truly. One morning, Auntie Ngozi knocked on her door. No reply. She opened it slowly, and there Mama was, lying peacefully on the bed. Her eyes were closed, her lips slightly smiling, and in her hand was Ijeoma's photo. She had followed her daughter. They buried her beside Ijeoma, under the same mango tree. Now, when the wind blows in Umuochi, people say they hear soft singing near that tree. Some say it's the mother and daughter, finally together.